5 minutes. To the back door I go. Jordan, my 8-year-old, is jumping on the trampoline with a friend. Jordan, time to come in for family dinner. Luke has to leave at 6:30. Just let us jump on the trampoline till 6:30. You've got 5 minutes. So back I go to the kitchen. Get the water glasses filled, put the slice of lemon in, get my delicious meal on the table, and wait. So I go into Bob and I'm like, dinner's ready. He says, this is really important. It's going to take at least 15 more minutes. Okay, so I thought, well, I go get Jordan and Rob. And I went and I plunked myself down in the living room and started to feel sorry for myself. I was no longer pointing towards joy. I was headed straight in the direction of anger. And there I sat, getting more and more steamed up. I do everything around here. I clean, I cook, I had to buy the groceries, I had to plan the meal. They'll probably make me wash the dishes when this whole thing is done. And on and on and on and on I went in my head. Until I went, Kim, question number 1. What are you paying attention to? I was paying attention to all the negatives. Everything that was going wrong for me. And the second part of that question is, what else can you pay attention to? And all of a sudden I realized that I had a son passed out on the couch from doing 5 hours of healthy, strenuous activity that he loves, instead of a son passed out on the couch from drugs. That I had an 8-year-old jumping on a trampoline in my backyard, and I didn't have to worry that he was going to be abducted or get hit by gunfire. That I had this beautiful table of food that no longer had steam rolling off of it, but I was abundant enough to provide it. And as a mother of 5 children, I had never one day had to watch one of my children go hungry. What do you pay attention to? And what else can you pay attention to? So in business, works just as well. I'm going to tell you the story of my first sales call. Now, I've got a 7-figure company that I built from my kitchen table. I take great joy in it every single day. I work with a bunch of powerful, amazing women, and most of our sales had been through trade shows, and we worked through wholesale distributors. A few years ago, we started our first line, which was a retail line, and so I was going to head the sales department. No sales experience, but I knew I could do it, and I was making the first sales call. We were going after the big fish first, and I decided I would handle it all week long. I'd said to my staff, I'm coming back with a $5,000 order. You just watch me. I'll show you guys how this is done. I'm going to get a $5,000 order. We role play. We role play everything. I mean, we get up seats and everybody gets popcorn and we all take a turn. It's like watching the movies. And so I had my presentation all set. I was ready to go. So I show up in this place of business. I'm dressed. I was probably dressed in this suit because I don't have many of them. I have my little briefcase with me. And I show up, hand my business card to the girl on the other side of the counter and said, Kim Hodous, I'm here to see the buyer. I have an appointment at 10. She kind of looks at me. And as we're standing there kind of staring at each other, this man walks through. His head's down, he's agitated, he's kind of pushing people out of the way. And she says, John, you've got a 10 o'clock? And he said, I don't have any appointments today. She said, well, this lady says you do. I'm like, hi, Kim Hodous, I spoke to you on the phone. We have a 10 o'clock appointment. He just went, sit right there, I'll get to you. Okay, well in my head, this is not how the role play went. So, what am I focused on? I'm thinking, this is not going the way I want. I was supposed to walk in, he was supposed to drop everything, be so happy to see me, look at my jewelry, write out a $5,000 order. It was not going the way I wanted it to. So I thought, Kim, what are you paying attention to? Oh, a part I forgot to tell you. He takes the little gal from across the counter back into his office. He goes, give me 10 minutes with her and then come say I've got a phone call. Now, I can hear everything. I'm thinking I'm here. So I know I've got 10 minutes. So I thought, okay, what are you focused on? You got 10 minutes. You've practiced this. You know what to do. I thought, shoot, I had an hour slotted for this. I can go hit 3 more businesses if this is how it goes. So I thought, okay, just roll with it. Pay attention to the benefits, to the good things you can find. So I started to shift my energy from feeling fearful and upset to want to just, it'll all be okay. So, what do you pay attention to, and what else can you pay attention to? Second question, is there anything you're too attached to? And I hate to tell you, but the answer is always yes. So I go back to my family meal. I'm sitting in my lovely living room with my child asleep on the couch, another child out jumping on the trampoline, and my husband on the phone with a beautiful table of cold food. Was there anything I was too attached to? I gotta tell you what I was attached to. This was my first dinner with the boys. I wanted everybody to come in and go, oh, Mom, this is so great. I love this. You're such a good mom. Bob to say, oh, Kim, I'm the luckiest man in the world to be married to you. It was all about me. Everybody was just, it was going to be my moment to shine. My house was beautiful, and the dinner was wonderful, and I had the whole story written in my head of how it was all going to play out. Wasn't happening. I realized in that moment I was completely attached to this story in my head about how it was going to look. And I had to give it up. I had to just let go and go with the flow. And that song that Carmen wrote was so beautiful. It was, I let go and I let go, I go with the flow, or some words like that. Yeah, I realized I just had to go with the flow. Now, I want to say that when we go with the flow, it isn't that you give up. If you're sick and your dream is to be healthy, or if you're feeling scarcity and your dream is to be abundant, it doesn't mean that you give up on that dream. You just give up to your attachment to how it's going to happen. Give up to you. The how is none of our business. Our business is to stay focused on the dream. What I really wanted was a beautiful family experience. It wasn't going to happen at 6 o'clock on Thursday night like I intended, but I could still hold on to a beautiful family experience. In business, I got to tell you, I was pretty attached to that sale. It was pretty much all ego, because I'd been bragging all week. Because I knew my jewelry was perfect. This gentleman had 3 stores he bought for. I knew we were the right fit. In fact, we had designed the whole line with him as our target client. I knew he was the guy. He was the big fish. And he was the perfect client for this line of jewelry. So I was pretty attached. I started looking around. And when I walked into his office, he couldn't really focus. His desk was just covered in papers. And he said, well, I haven't been here much the last 2 weeks. I'm kind of going through a hard time. So he's shuffling papers. He goes, oh, wait, I got to answer this email. And his hands started flying over the keyboard. And as I was observing him, I realized that where a red wedding ring would be, it was white, like he had just taken off a wedding ring. And I thought, he kept saying, I'm going through a hard time. I thought, I bet he's going through divorce. So I looked around for a picture, and there was a picture on the shelves behind him, and it was turned backwards. I went, you know what? This guy's in pain. This guy is going through a difficult time. He could care less about my jewelry.